Hello and welcome to day 2 of our Great Escape VBS. Today's Bible topic is about Gideon and his army being asked to go up against the Midianites. One of the things that Gideon ran into was he had an army originally of 30,000 volunteers. And God told him, Gideon, that's too many. Gideon was shocked. After all, the Midianite army was at least 3 times that size. What do you mean that's too many? Gideon, if you go in with that size army, the people will think that they gained the victory on their own. They need to know that victory comes from me. So he told Gideon, tell everybody who's afraid and wants to go home to go home. And just like that, most of Gideon's army melted away. But he still had 3,000 people left. And Gideon heard from the Lord again, Gideon, still too many. Take them down to the river. Watch how they drink water. Those who fall down face first and start to lap it up like a dog, send them home. Those who drop to one knee and bring the water up to their faces, those are the ones you're going to go to war with. Gideon winds up with 300 people. He's from 30,000 down to 300. And the Midianite army is well armed. Gideon, what are you going to use for weapons? Because you see, when you're talking to your kids about this Bible story, you've got a chance to talk to them about the kind of things that people use for weapons. Here in our community, a lot of people are affiliated with the military posts nearby, so they can see their military parents' gear and they know the difference between some of the gear that their parents wear when they're going out into the field as opposed to the nicer uniforms when they're going to other kinds of events. Or maybe, somebody who is a police officer who has to wear certain equipment to protect himself or herself when they're going out and possibly facing criminals. So I borrowed one of our statues here from when we do our annual Memorial Day ceremony. This little statue shows a military helmet and a rifle, and a pair of boots. The kinds of things that you would expect soldiers to have. Even if you just have toy army men, or you go to one of these dollar type stores and let the kids get the little armor sets. They have some idea of what weapons are. But instead of being asked to wear military type gear or have a weapon like this toy sword that I'm holding up, God told Gideon, you're only going to give your men some clay jars. I'm going to let our ash picks suffice as a clay jar that they would put a lantern in and put the lid on it, and a trumpet, and go out at night and surround the army of the Midianites. And when I give the signal, break the jars so that they've got just the torches that are hidden under there, and start waving those about and making noise by blowing the trumpet. And you can make a trumpet out of something very, very simple. This is a toilet paper roll with some ribbon and a little piece of felt to make it look like a torch. Toy trumpet. You can actually use another toilet paper roll if you don't have anything else. One's your torch, one's your trumpet. Let them make noise and wave it around. And then talk to them about if you were one of those soldiers and you knew that the other team had actual swords, and maybe they had slingshots with rocks, or maybe they had spears to throw, and the soldier in charge of your army hands you a noisemaker and a torch, would you be willing to go into combat with that? But did you see that's exactly what God asked them to do? To be able to trust Him. When they blew those trumpets and they made that loud noise and they started waving the torches, because they were all around the enemy woke up in the middle of the night and they're startled and they're confused, and the enemy started attacking each other. The soldiers in Gideon's army didn't have to do anything to fight on their own. They just had to trust that God had the better plan. So you can use this as a playtime but a time for them to use their imagination and a time to think things through. When you're asked to do something that God wants you to do and you think, I can't do it, or that seems like a really strange thing to ask somebody to do, how much trust do you have in your real commander? The men had to trust Gideon, but they also had to trust God. Gideon had to trust God. How much do we trust God? So you can take these moments of just playtime and use them as teaching opportunities to teach faith at home. We'll see you again tomorrow for day 3 of our Great Escape VBS. Thanks for watching.